So she's claiming the evidence showed
he's
her
so
husband had been
stupid.
at the strip club for nearly 5 hours, confirming that he
5 hours.
5 hours in a strip club.
Jesus.
5
At that point,
hours?
employees know your name.
Stick around, make a sound, there's more Dumb People Town.
Hey, want to celebrate with and stay connected to people who live far away? Are you missing someone this holiday season and want them to be part of your festivities from afar? Or do loved ones live far away but wish they were closer to you? Now, as a special limited time offer for our listeners, you get $20 off your first purchase or your purchase of a skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/DPT. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/DPT. Get $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/DPT. Get $20 off a skylight frame at skylightframe.com/DPT. Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you. Population Bloom. Rachel Bloom. I'm so happy you're here. What a wonderful time to get you in Dumb People Town.
What a fun time.
It is a fun time. It is a crazy time. And you are Judy Bloom's daughter. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is true. Different spelling, but
Why do
somehow
I-
I'm
Somehow.
her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a you.
We're all
and me.
her daughters.
Well, you emancipated, and you're like, I like the sound. Changing the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
She's
This
a
is
real
your Hollywood name.
shitty mom.
Yeah, what is she doing?
Yeah, I didn't want to going into an audition room.
You don't want to carry that in.
No.
You
And
wanna
you
be
spell
your
that
own-
R-U-M-E, audition room, right? You go there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. Rachel Bloom has a special out, and we're going to talk about it not right now. We'll talk about it at the top of the second segment, but I watched it, and I loved it, and I have so many questions and wonderful thing because we're doing a two-man show that like it just inspired me in so
Ooh,
many
I
ways.
can't wait to see it.
We'll talk all about that later, but first there's dumb stuff to get into, and we
Great.
need your help.
Turns
trying
out the
to break
world
it
is
down.
getting dumber.
I have story
No.
one, and it is so harmlessly dumb.
Okay, great.
I mean, it would. There is
I
a
like a
person
good
we're gonna not
harmless
like
dumb.
in it.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Okay.
No, non-threatening dumb.
We've all done enough, so many different types of comedy shows. I've said this a lot. Sometimes
could
all
just
you
do
need
an
is a
hour on
headline.
the headline.
The headline is enough of a prompt for you to be like,
Boom.
cool, we'll do this
All
improv
right, we'll
show
take
for the
this.
next hour.
Yeah.
It was sent in by Matthew Friedman at Not Your Average Matt.
Thanks, buddy.
AVG in that
He's
handle.
crushing it recently.
Okay. Woman who sued company for not giving her a farewell card. So she sues because she leaves the company and nobody gives her a farewell card. Finds out they did buy her a card, but almost no one signed it.
I love the anger. Have you ever like gone
The hubris.
So we went to. Can I say this? We went
Of
to.
course.
Went to Hawaii years ago, like when our kids were little.
Okay, 1%.
Right. Okay. Right.
Money
Went to
bags
Hawaii
over
years
here.
ago, and we
funny.
stayed, and like we were staying at one of these hotels where the kids could go into like a babysitting sort of a thing, and we could just go enjoy ourselves on the beach. This is when they were little, and it was like a fun thing they were doing, like arts and crafts.
Yeah, it's great.
And we wrote down our asses to write down our address, and they would send like a birthday card, like a little birthday
To your
card
kids.
every year to our kids. But they
Smart marketing.
got the wrong date for the wrong kid. They flip-flopped them.
Gotcha.
And so like wishing Daisy a happy birthday on
George's birthday. Yeah.
and George a happy birthday on Daisy's birthday, and those dates were also wrong. So like
So you sued them.
so mad. I'm
the
mad.
thought that counts.
I'm like, I don't need this mail.
Dan,
This
it's
is
not
like-
the thought that counts.
It's not. I'd
Also-
rather get 15 Bed Bath and Beyond coupons that I will never
Sign me
use.
up. But that is great marketing because if you do give it to your kid, now you have your kids saying, we want to go back there
Right,
to
exactly.
you all the time.
They're so nice. They're
nice over at
Much-
crayons.
also, Rachel,
That's a lot.
I didn't say this to you, much like Ranger said. Anything that comes up in this story that takes you anywhere in your life, a character, a story, feel free to go there. We all
Right.
have steering
a
wheels.
song.
I just want, there's no such thing as interrupting.
No, I also don't appreciate. I don't care that my dentist remembers my birthday.
Right?
Right?
They send you
I don't need that.
You don't need a tooth-shaped birthday card.
No.
Hey, just filling you in. It's like, I don't want to
Stop.
hear the pun.
I don't need holiday cards from corporations.
Nope. Right.
I like when like a scarf I bought from my mom for Christmas like 8 years ago. That company is still
Sending
like,
you.
we've missed you. Happy birthday. And I'm like, first of all, you don't miss me,
You don't.
but I appreciate the sentiment.
Rachel's
Secondly,
dentist, your 1 year molar.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
Yes.
make sense. It
I
does
mean,
not even make
I
sense.
guess I would like that more if it was like, congratulations a year ago that you had that filling and it's a picture of the filling.
Right.
That'd be cute.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone's getting long in the tooth. Wow.
That is a good dentist for a date.
I don't
That's
want.
great.
Bro, that's so
You can't
mean. Don't
say that
come
to
at her
me.
like that.
Okay, here's the story. A British woman who sued a former employer because she didn't get a farewell card
She sounds great.
found out in court that
my
her
God.
colleagues did in fact buy her a card. It's just that hardly anyone signed it.
How did this go to court?
I mean, this
Because
is
now I've been part of I went through a house lawsuit a couple years ago because our house was really fucked up. Let's just say earthquake proofing was faked. Anyway,
Oh,
yep.
no.
But we never went to court.
How'd you find out?
earthquake.
Well,
I was hoping it wasn't that way.
it was the window. What happened is the windows were leaking,
Okay.
Ooh.
and then someone came to look at the windows, and they opened up the wall a little bit, and they went, something is very, very
Ooh, God.
wrong with this house.
Did you first say ghost and then?
Yeah.
I first said ghost, and then
So from the windows
To the
the
walls.
walls.
Okay.
till the sweat
Drip
dripped down
from
our
inside
house.
the walls. You're like,
Yeah,
something's
yeah.
wrong. There's literally sweat dripping down inside the walls.
Something is very wrong.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, because that's
yeah.
way beyond. We had your inspector. We went through escrow. Everything's done. That is like
So
egregious.
here's my number one tip to first time homeowners, because we bought the house over 10 years ago. We were first time homeowners. Never use the inspector that the company or the realtor recommends.
Nope.
Insist
Get your
on
own
bringing
guy.
in your own inspector.
Independent
We
inspector.
didn't know that. A structural engineer took one. It's basically the second floor of our house, which is like it had been a crawl space that they then tried to make livable space,
Right.
but cheaped out on.
Yep.
The structural engineer takes one look. He goes, "I can't work on this house."
Nope.
So we have to get another structural engineer. So I've been through a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But you didn't take it to court.
So we went to arbitration and we settled
Settled.
before out of court. So for something to go to court.
Well, in all fairness, you're talking about the structural safety of your house.
She's talking
She's
about.
talking about a card that she didn't get.
So she-
hers is clearly court worthy.
well,
Yours is not. I mean,
way
that's
more
fair.
important. Yeah.
Right.
That's
But what
right.
I don't understand is like you have to pay. It's what I think it's Trump's tactic is that if you just get people spending more and more money in lawsuits and you keep them in legal jeopardy for years,
Sweat 'em
people
out.
just give up
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's so.
You don't-
Yeah.
I won't
fucking
hang
money.
on. I won't hang on.
Yeah.
I can't.
So
I'm
how
not
did
gonna
this
hang in.
go to court?
Like someone had to put on
And
a
it's in
powdered
England.
wig.
Yeah, someone's in a powdered wig.
Oh, maybe
judging
it's
over this.
different in England.
But maybe. But also, I feel like
Is there
sort
like
of
a-
by the end of this article, maybe even halfway through,
Okay.
you're gonna be like, "Oh, if I work for this company, I want to be able to say this in court. That
Okay,
we
great.
did get you a card."
That's pretty great.
I want
No, but
someone
it's like the mo-
typing on a thing that doesn't have letters to type in that we
Right.
did get.
You,
her.
you want my name on that card. You need my name on that card. Okay.
Well, no. There is a moment though where they're like holding that information in their back pocket,
Yes.
and that is their gotcha
That's
moment.
the aha
Something
moment.
doesn't.
Like Carrie
the
Mason.
British legal system must be different because that would mean they were spending tens to hundreds of thousands of pounds, I guess,
Pounds.
is their wonky currency,
Yeah. Pounds.
just to be able to say in court, "We actually made you a card."
That's
But-
right.
Or it's that whole British thing where they're like, I don't want to say, like, I don't want to like put
Let's
it
not
out there.
ruffle
Right.
Like,
feathers.
let's
Yes,
not
we got
let's
you
not
a
talk about
card.
this right now. If we
Obviously,
can
we're not
avoid
going
saying
to-
it,
we don't
let's
want to ruffle
not.
feathers.
And then eventually they get to the point of like a deposition or like
But we did.
at
We
court,
did technically.
and like, all right, fine.
Technically,
Yeah, and then they're so begrudged, like have to
I'd like
drudge
to
up the uncomfortableness.
speak up, but I
Okay.
can't.
After her colleagues didn't present her with a farewell card on her last day of work, Karen Cognahan,
Oh, she's a
Connigan. I'm going to go Connigan. Karen Connigan sued the International Airlines Group, which I know owns British Airways, and I think
IAG.
other as well. Yes, IAG. Her former employee from how many years do you think she worked there?
Oh, this woman sucks. So I'm gonna guess she worked there.
And is
6
this
months?
mad about not getting a card?
I'm gonna guess 6 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Okay.
11 years.
One of you is exactly right.
Oh.
So we get to play the mini game within the game.
Oh, okay.
Who do you think is right? And you can stick with yourself or jump on to somebody else's answer.
What did you
we
say,
have
6 years?
6
2,
years.
11.
I'm gonna stay at 2.
I'm moving to Rachel's. I'm
Okay.
gonna stick. I'm gonna go 6.
I'll stay with 6.
Okay.
It's gonna be 2. It's gonna be 2. This
feeling
woman
this.
sucks.
I've
It's gonna be
International
2.
Airlines Group was her employer for 2 years.
What?
2019 to 2021.
That's
You aren't
fantastic.
card worthy.
That's fantastic.
2 years is maybe a Chipotle gift card.
Not even.
Not even.
A wave?
No, like a
Hey, it's been great. Yeah, it was really good getting to know you. You
fun-sized-
still say getting to know you 2 years.
This woman is. I mean, not to therapize
Herod's
everything.
bad.
Do it.
This woman's very sick. This
Yeah,
is a sick.
yeah.
This
Okay.
is a. This is a sick adult
got-
person.
She was laid off in 2021.
Yeah, for being.
Yeah, she's suing them, quote, for failure to acknowledge her existence, a breach of equality law, according to The Guardian.
Okay.
In court, Connigan's former colleague, so they're bringing people in from the cubicle,
Let's go.
testified that they did buy her a card.
We did buy her a card. You got a receipt? That's People's Court.
But they
Show me
didn't
the
give
receipt.
it to her because only blank amount of people signed it. How many people do you think signed it? At IJA is a huge company. They own airlines.
Sure. I think 2 people signed
Two?
it. For
Three.
however many
Three?
years
One
she worked
person
there.
signed.
One
it.
of you
The
is
person who bought it.
exactly right.
I'm going to stay with 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Okay.
I'm staying with mine. One person signed it.
They didn't give it to Karen because only 3 people signed it.
Hey!
3.
By the way, that's enough.
And one of them, had to be like, just fucking sign
Just
it.
sign it.
Like, had to be
All
like,
you have to do is put your
My
name.
argument
know her.
is that's enough, and also
Totally
fake
enough.
some signatures.
Sure.
Just start. Just
How's
start.
she going to know?
Also, draw pictures.
Why
Cards.
not?
What I would do, maybe it's just because I have a 4-year-old, I would draw my signature. It's not because I have a 4-year-old, it's because I draw like a 4-year-old. My signature to fill out things on cards is I draw a heart with a string to make it look like a heart
A balloon.
Love
Oh,
that.
I
Great
like that.
idea.
Or
you can fill a
2
card with
smiley
that.
faces in the O's in bloom. I mean, you've got it.
Okay, I used to my signature. This is middle school to high school to
Okay.
early college.
Okay.
When I think, did I do it over the A? No, I did it over the O's.
I love this.
Umlauts?
Oh no, I'm sorry. At the end of the M,
Umlauts?
Yeah.
I draw a heart, smiley face, and give it hair.
Oh,
What kind of a
Hard
haircut?
hair.
Spiked?
just like general
down.
girl-
General
just general girl hair.
down.
I feel like
hard hair.
there are multiple, but at least one teacher could have a very successful Instagram account of just showing the signatures of their students.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Right? First name only.
That was
We
your
don't gotta
that was
go full
literally
name on
your
a kid.
signature move.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey.
There it is. Guys,
That
we'll
was
get out of
also
here.
a way that I, when I would forget people's names. This was really elaborate. I only did it a couple times. But in high school, when I would forget people's names, I don't know where I got this. I go, hey, I can tell your future from your handwriting. Can you write your full name down?
Oh, that's so good.
Yes. That's
Make
And
it a
it
handwriting.
was
Of the day, that's the equivalent of what is your Twitter handle again so I can follow you?
Yeah.
That's
And you
good
hope their
too.
names
And then
Yeah,
it's
you hope
like-
their names
Yes, yes.
And then it's like Popcorn Cruncher 364, and you're like, I know.
Can't.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Not reliable.
I'm not
There are
remembering.
people,
It should
though-
be your name, which is
There are people though who have done like alterations of their name as their handle, and then over time you end up thinking like that is their name. Like they shouldn't
Yeah.
have like altered their name by like 2 letters to make it
Right.
funny because then you forget.
Right.
Crunchy Jack.
Well,
Yeah,
there
but
was a
it's really
guy
Jake.
who like his last name was Marshall, but he'd say Martian, and I thought his last name was
Martian.
Yes,
And he was like, no.
we know that guy 100%,
Mark the
Dart.
and I guarantee that happened. Okay, so
Mark Smalls. For the longest time, they kept calling him Mart the Dart.
Mart the Dart. And when we were played golf with him, and they were like, "Oh,
It's I've been saying Mark
Mart.
Smalls. It's Mart.
Mart.
Why did I get this
Yeah.
wrong?
And you're like, "No,
No,
it's
it's
Mark."
Mark.
It's like,
And then I'm like, but why are they calling you Mart? And so then we had a long text
can
chain
ruin
where
this.
I kept
Sometimes
messing
it's
it.
on the people.
Well, I have a nightmare. It's not a nightmare. My life is fine. But
I love the honesty.
But my husband went to Jewish summer camp where everyone's either named Dan or Josh.
That's
so
it.
everyone goes by their last names.
Mm-hmm.
So there are friends of his whose first names I don't know.
of course.
But also, my husband, his name's Dan Gregor. He goes by Gregor, and we were friends before we dated.
Mm-hmm.
I call him Gregor.
if you
But
hang it,
he introduces himself to like acquaintances as Dan. So then when I say Gregor, they look at
Rachel?
me like I'm fucking crazy.
Yes.
that's
Yes.
right. You're like, when did you marry a Russian guy?
And I have to then explain my husband's name is Dan Gregor, and
we
it's
speak like we're on a basketball team.
it's been my struggle. It's been like,
We're like-
Mein Kampf for
Yes.
the past like
No, we're like
truly
10th grade
16
friends.
or
years.
they'll say it to you about him, and for a second you have to be like, Gregor?
Who?
Yes.
Or they'll be like, "How's Dan doing?" And be like, "Dan.
Dan?
Who's
Who's Dan?"
Oh, and then I have to be like, "Oh, you're not close enough with him
That you're
to
using
call
his
him
first
his
name."
real
See,
name."
I used to do a different version of this, which I was frustrating people because my college roommate, his name's Paul, and then we were one of the 5 people who went and saw Fight Club in the theater, and the Meatloaf's character in that name is Robert Paulson. So I started calling him Paulson, and I call him Robert Paulson. And then for a while, I just called him Robert. So we'd be at things, and I'd be like, this is my buddy Paul. And they'd be cool. And then I'd be like, Robert, can you? And people would be like, what the
Who
fuck
are
is
you?
this
Why are you
guy's
calling
name?
him this?
I know.
Which
I was
I
frustrated.
I don't like
I would
it.
assume that
I know, I
your
had to stop.
husband's name was Greg, and you're affectionately like a
Call him
hockey.
Gregor.
So this
Gregor's
is
here.
this is what a lot of people
Gregor.
think, and also one of the characters in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was named Greg.
Yes.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
Didn't even occur to me
Gregor.
because Greg is a different name than it's been.
It's not your last name because you kept your last name, so people are already confused by that.
It's already really confusing.
You got it.
I've thought about
there was
do
someone who
I
could fix
hyphenate?
this.
Do I illegally hyphenate my last name just to have some
No,
sort
you
of like
can't now. You can't.
Too late.
You're too famous.
Make the world be the change
Well,
you
I
hope
keep
to see.
Rachel Bloom professional. I don't know.
You want to hyphenate it in social situations? Rachel,
don't
Rachel,
know.
you know, try it out with
Yeah.
me. Introduce yourself to
Hi,
me. So, hi, I'm Randy Sklar. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Rachel Gregor Bloom. Oh, I don't like it.
Bloom Gregor.
No,
think
Gregor Bloom has always been.
Gregor Bloom?
Yeah,
I have a
Gregor
struggle
Bloom
with Daniel.
sounds like it's non-hyphenated.
Gregor Bloom. Exactly.
Sounds like one whole name. You know the Gregor Blooms.
Well, this was
It really does.
this was a discussion over our daughter's name. Our daughter's name is hyphenated, but I was like, do we just make it one name, Gregor Bloom?
Gregor Bloom is pretty great.
Totally
That's
could.
pretty great.
I lost the argument.
Oh, so it's
I think
know
I would have
why.
been in
Who do
favor
we
of
need
that.
to talk to?
I don't know because
I love
my
that your
husband has
name's
6
last.
names, so I was like, okay, I guess you're the name
Dan,
expert.
Josh, Gregor Bloom. All right, so this is crazy.
And he doesn't have he only has a middle initial. He doesn't have a middle name.
Really? Jay?
It's a whole
K.
thing. A.
Hey.
Dan A. Gregor.
Daniel A. Gregor. And he's named after his great uncle who has a fascinating story. That's
But by the way, Daniel A. Gregor sounds like an old novelist.
yes,
like
here's
it
the
sh-
problem. At the airport, it reads Daniela Gregor, so he gets flagged because they think,
Ah.
oh, you should be a woman.
I've had that happen to me.
Yep.
And you're like, why are you questioning my gender?
Yeah, like
And
this is
that's
now getting
exactly
to
what
that.
At
we
this
say.
point in history.
I have 3. If you're my family, it's never stopped being Danny. It's still Danny to this day, every single person. And then people who've married into my family, they're like, oh, Danny?
And we're like,
and then
who?
it's like from like 15 to 30, it's Dan. And then everything since 30, which is what I introduce myself as, is Daniel. But I can't even, I've had on stage, you get brought up, it's always a
It's
part
always
of what they
hard.
say with you. What do you want me to say? I go, it's Daniel. Some people say Dan. I don't know why. I told you my name is Daniel.
That's a very calm way to bring it up.
I
like
try to be so chill
it.
about
You
it.
say it's Daniel
I'm so
Gregor
Midwestern
Bloom.
terrified
Okay.
of being
And
in
and this is the
position.
problem is no one calls him Daniel. So he's acquaintances call him Dan. His family calls him Danny.
Okay, same.
Close
That.
people call him Gregor. There was a time where I was like, should I maybe call you Daniel? And it could be our special name. And he was
Yes.
like, no one calls me
Too
Daniel.
formal. Too formal.
And I'm like, oh, so you now have enough names.
Right. And
Yeah.
you call him like you guys are on a hockey team.
Exactly.
You call
but
him
to
a last
me,
Gregor,
it's not.
Bloomer.
Exactly.
Gregor.
Like, he doesn't call me Bloom.
Nobody throws a dag at him.
He should call you Bloom.
No.
Yeah.
He should call you Bloom. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
Or
know.
Bloomer. Bloomer.
Bloomer.
All right. You want to hear more about this?
Yes.
Can I also say for the record, my whole thing? If no one's signing the card, go tape 3 pieces of printer paper together.
Yes.
And say goodbye, Karen, from all of us.
Yeah, we
which
love
doesn't
you.
even mean you
We
like
all-
her. Don't
from
even say
everyone.
anything. Goodbye,
Print shop.
Karen,
Print
from
shop.
all of us.
From all-
Just
do
from
it on-
all of us.
do it on
Just give
print
her
shop.
the card. I don't know.
I
Let
agree.
her know that only 3 people like her. She
That's
sounds
right.
like she sucks. I don't know.
You
Oh,
can't sue if
see?
you get the card.
I told you.
She can't sue
It
for
must
people.
be different in Britain. There's no way they spent hundreds of thousands of. There's no way.
Pounds.
He believed, this is her colleague, he believed, this is the Judge Kevin Palmer, JKP talking.
It doesn't sound like a British name.
He, you're right, because of the hard R. He believed it would
Palmer.
be more insulting, this is the colleague, to give her the card than to give her the card than not to give her the card
You
at all.
can't- It's not your call to make.
That is not your
not.
call.
You're playing God right now, and I don't like it.
I would have bought a new card and not had anyone sign it, so that at least
From
she
all
gets
of
a
us.
card.
Right.
The tribunal was told that 2 men.
Tribunal.
There's more than one judge.
Someone's going to be shot.
I know.
The tribunal was also told that 2 men were also laid off during the restructuring
Oh.
at the company,
Sure.
which also owns Aer Lingus and Iberia, and they did not receive cards either.
Aer Lingus.
Aer Lingus. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
It's insane that they haven't
I mean,
changed.
they
They
it.
are
First-
into satisfying women on that airline.
First
That is
class
what
for
they-
women. The seats are unbelievable.
But do you think? I imagine the other 2 guys had tons of signatures,
Right.
but they were like, if we're not giving one to Karen because no one signed it, we can't give one to the other
Oh,
two
so they didn't
either.
give that to them.
No, the other 2 guys didn't get one either.
Okay.
Jesus.
They're not
Christ.
suing.
This
No.
woman.
Connigan.
What's her name?
Connigan.
Karen
Connigan.
Karen
I know.
Connigan.
Karen Connigan
Kerrigan
brought a
Connigan.
total of 40 allegations against IAG in her lawsuit, including sexual harassment, victimization, and unfair dismissal. But the
No.
court dismissed every claim,
Yep.
including the alleged breach of equality law, because they, quote, either didn't happen or if they did, they were innocuous interactions in the normal course of employment.
Yep.
The judge added that Connigan exhibited a, quote, not pervasive at all, a conspiracy theory mentality and misinterpreted, quote, normal workplace interactions as harassment.
By the way, great opinion written by the tribunal.
Well, and I love that they give some examples so you can go, okay. The example offered, one of them, I guess, was when Connigan wrote Whiz, W-H-I-Z, in a coworker's card and then claimed another colleague was copying her when they used Whiz with 2 Z's in a different card.
Oh, this woman's very
Separate Z, dude.
Yes.
Extra
sick. This is
Z
a very-
means it's
Now
original.
I'm adjusting my shit.
I know.
The Guardian reported
Strings coming out.
You look great.
she also complained after a coworker asked her, "Are you taking the piss, Karen?" A popular British term meaning making fun of somebody.
joking, goofing around.
Taking the piss out of.
The tribunal heard that this was after Connigan suggested that she, quote, had done all the hard work and it was his turn to do some. And so she was like, I do all the hard work and now it's your turn.
He's
like,
taking the piss, Karen.
Yeah,
Taking the
yeah, you're
piss.
just trying to wind me up, right? Connigan,
Sexual harassment.
yeah. Connigan moved to Richmond, North Yorkshire in September 2021. This is important because it is expected that all employees live within 2 hours of the office of Heathrow. So she moved outside of the radius that they tell you when you get hired.
Do that.
They should have
that
given her a goodbye card.
Yes. She was then made redundant the same year as part of a restructuring of the organization,
Fired you.
with colleagues saying in evidence that many people also left around the same time. So it's not even just her.
It's not just you.
They're restructuring.
So the sexual harassment, is it all about the card, or are there other allegations of? Is it the card's one thing?
The card is
I
one
think
of
she
40.
thought. I think she said taking the piss was a sexual
harassment.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Taking? Are you sucking my piss into your mouth?
Yeah,
that's how I would read it.
That's a different.
Right.
Are you sucking my
Spreading my
piss?
piss all over you like a golden
Someone-
shower.
Rachel, I don't think you're saying
Deadpan
it right.
that to
Yeah.
you, not even
I'm sorry.
suggestively. I'd be like, I gotta go to lunch.
Are you dripping the
don't even-
piss?
No, stop. Everybody.
Don't shame.
I'm not
Randy.
going to call the episode that.
No, do not call. Taking the piss is not the episode. Okay, thank you.
Dripping the piss, though.
Dripping the piss.
Whiz.
Whiz.
Okay, that's different. Judge Palmer.
Whiz is I guess a euphemism for taking the
By
piss.
the way, the odds are pretty good that she's into piss play. If she
I
considers
mean,
that
a boy
sexual
can dream.
harassment.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, because it's on the table.
Piss.
And I believe women.
Yes.
do I.
This particular woman, I think, has some problems.
She's
making
proven
it hard.
40 times over.
Well,
that-
it's what's the Fran Lebowitz? She was like, she's like, I'm not saying we have to believe all women, but I'd like if our society got to a point where we investigated the claims made by all women.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Investigate 'em.
she's like,
Yes.
I'm into that,
just get into it.
which they did. They totally
I
did
think
here.
This is great.
Judge Palmer said that although further signatures were gathered, so she ended up getting more. Although further signatures were gathered on the leaving card after her departure, a former colleague took the view that, quote, it was inappropriate to send such a card to her at a later date as she had raised a grievance against him and another colleague. So they were like, look, she's gone. If we send her this, she's going to somehow be pissed at me again.
Also,
Right.
it's like if she's saying you harassed me, mailing her a card.
Do not.
Extra harassment.
Do not.
That's like if you do
boy.
if someone's mad at you and you do something really nice
for
to
them.
that's like the worst thing you can do.
This stuff is horrible because it just so delegitimizes actual
I know.
cases of,
That's right.
of
Oh my
harassment.
god. Oh my god.
It's
Forget
Come
about
on,
it.
lady.
But that's why I'm glad that they still looked into it all. Because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
even on the surface,
You know what?
somebody is saying I'm suing because I didn't get a card, you'd be like, okay, we're still going to look into this. But I'm already feeling like, what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
it's good. Wait, really quick. Are you listening to that podcast, Kill List?
No.
Oh.
Whole podcast about basically. I'll try to sum it up. I'm going to spoil a little bit of Kill List
Okay.
for anyone who cares. This journalist has a friend who's a hacker. He hacked into a site on the dark web that is a hitman for hire website. He somehow hacked into the user, like the site admin, so he can see all of the hitman requests. Now, the site itself is a scam. It's like, send us all this cryptocurrency. They never actually send a hitman, but there's a case where one of the requests on the site the man just ended up saying "fuck it" and murdering his own wife.
Oh
since
my
okay.
God.
So the podcast is about trying to contact everyone who's on this kill list to be like, listen, there isn't a hitman coming for you, but someone in your life wants you dead.
He's really considering how to get this done.
Yeah. A large contingent of people on this list are women being
by an ex-boyfriend.
ex.
Yep.
Sure.
And the amount to which when this male journalist sees it firsthand, where he's like, the amount that they are laughed at, that the police are like, this sounds like
whatever,
a spy
yeah,
novel,
whatever.
and he's
Gosh.
like, oh my God, that the fact that violence against women is this is violence against women, right?
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
being
Yep.
laughed at, is really shocking. So look, I'm glad they
investigated.
taking
Yes.
the piss.
I hate that it has to be like fuckery like this, but part of me would love if they called up the officer, the sergeant, whatever answers, and they're like, we just need you to know your daughter
Yep.
or your wife is on this list. And then when the cop's like, all right, well, here's what we're going to do. Be like, hey, they're like, oh, wait, actually, I read this wrong. It's actually just a
Yeah.
woman who lives in your town. But we're still going to, when you thought it was your daughter, remember how we felt? We're still going to do that for the woman you've never met?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, just like.
My daughter wouldn't make stuff up, but every other woman would. It's like in Promising Young Woman when she
Yeah.
pranks. Yes.
Yes.
It's not really a prank. She basically makes it seem like she sent the
Yeah.
dean of the school's daughter off to be assaulted at a frat party, and yeah.
Yeah.
That-
yeah.
So I just think the court itself, when this case leaves, should send the woman a card.
Yes.
Sorry
Absolutely.
about
signed
your
by
loss.
everyone on the jury.
Signed by everyone, the stenographer,
Condolence card.
the jury, the whole tribunal.
Yeah, well-
it was a pleasure having you in court. Just was a pleasure having you
Yeah,
in
and
court.
end it with this quote. This is the last thing I'll say.
Happy
There was
birthday.
no evidence to suggest any of the allegations were related to anything that she had said or indicative of any of her allegations. Quote, it was a view of normal interactions being something more sinister.
Yeah.
And that's
so
it.
now you
Put
have
that on the card.
Yeah. And anyone who has interactions with this woman where it's difficult, just read the court.
Yeah.
Read the court filing, and you're
Read
good
the
to go.
court filing.
All right, that's
or
story-
also to everybody else, when someone's leaving, they're already out there, just sign the fucking card.
Sign the
I
card.
agree.
Just be like,
All right.
cool. Stay cool in school. See you next summer.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Rachel's special, which Death Let Me Do My Special.
Correct.
It's so good.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about that and what Dan has going on after the break. It's Not People Town. With Rachel Bloom, we'll take a break. We'll be right back and find out it all.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Before we get to Rachel's great special, Daniel,
Yes.
please let people know. I know you have a new podcast here on this network called The Midnight Air,
It's an
which
overnight,
is awesome.
a weekly overnight podcast that is just what you find on the radio when you're driving across country, or you hope to find when you can't go to sleep. Talking about emails from listeners, running down things like the 10 best Halloween costumes,
Best
or how
Halloween candy.
best Halloween candy. Snickers wasn't even on the list, top 10.
Reese's
Which I'm not saying it has to be number one, but I was very.
No, it's great.
I think they did Reese's as a whole thing. 'cause
I'm
Reese's
sorry. Oh,
Pieces-
Reese's is a thing that the East Coasters say, right?
Reese's Pieces?
Reese's? You guys say Reese's.
Well, I'm
Reese's
born and
is
bred in
what
Northern Illinois. Rochelle
Reese says
Farm Kid.
Reese's.
I just say the way it's supposed to be said.
Reese's Pieces.
We say Reese's, but anyway.
Yeah.
I got Paul F. Tompkins on my team.
It's a Reese's
so
monkey.
I
we'd
think
be
it's
happy
a
to
it's a
debate.
regional thing, right?
Yeah,
It's like
right.
pop and soda.
Yeah.
Pop's very Midwest.
Hoagie.
Yeah.
Frap.
Hagee.
Yeah.
You gonna get a Hagee?
Hagee.
Why don't you get down there and grab a hug?
Listen to Midnight Air. It's a good time with me for about an hour every week.
So what is the number one? Okay, best Halloween costume. Are you saying the most common or like just like?
Of 2024, what are the
So
top
fun.
Halloween
This
costumes?
is a great thing to run through because
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can
this
make
is
anything
great.
funny.
I think
it's so good.
I'm having a hard
It's-
time remembering number one. Maybe Aaron remembers.
Just give me a taste
But
of
number
one.
two is what's her name? The Australian break
Oh yeah,
dancer.
Ray
Ray
Gun.
Which I
Ray
think
Gun.
is just going to be a whole bunch of repurposed
Which,
Squid
by the way,
Game
you could have done on
costumes.
SNL. You could have been that Ray Gun.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I don't know who that
I
is.
Oh, the
She's
girl.
the,
she got
the Australian break dancer.
oh, you're glad. You're lucky
Oh, she was
you
in the
missed this.
Yeah,
Olympics.
Olympics.
Okay, yeah,
She
yeah.
was in it. Not an Olympian.
Our joke is she got a
0.0. That means we all tied her, and we weren't in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Midnight Air every Monday night right here on All Things Comedy, and then you can see my show, my stand-up show, the first Wednesday of every single month. It's Overshare Comedy. The comics start their set with overshares of embarrassing moments from the audience that they submit before the show starts. It's
fun.
Super fun show. It's right on Fairfax next to Cantor's, and then
Oh, the Kibitz Room.
yeah. Well, no, it's next to. It's like two buildings down.
Bespoke
From-
LA.
Yeah,
Great
Bespoke
room.
LA. And then come see me live. I'm headlining on Thursday, the 14th of November at the Flyover Comedy Festival in St. Louis. Everything else is up at danielvankirk.com. Go watch my movie. Go watch Rose Gold.
Headlining.
Headlining, good times. All right, so Rachel, I love the special so much, and I watched it with 2 other people, and of course, I mean, I was like, man, because we've seen you do stand-up. I'm like, it could be your stand-up, but I'm so glad that, like, I was really glad that it was so much more, and it was, like, serious in many ways, and you carried the weight of it so well. I don't want to give anything away, so I want to try and tiptoe around because I want people to see it.
I don't want to see it. I want people to see it, but I want people to be intrigued enough to
I'll
click on it on
them.
Netflix and then watch that whole thing. You know, even if you don't dig it, it's important to complete the special on Netflix for the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? It's really
I'm telling
important.
you, it's such a beautifully handled special, and there's so many theatrically done. There were so many great little things that were done that made it so great, like
Thank you.
set. You know which moment I'm talking about. There's just. It's beautiful, and as we're writing and performing, we put it up a couple times. We've been readjusting it, a 2-man show for ourselves. I was like, it was inspiring to me, and it gave me hope for what we were doing with ours, because I'm like, I think we're doing some things in the same kind of general direction of what you did in yours, and it made me very happy with what we do.
Do you have a director?
Yeah, Evan Shapiro directed it, and I mean, it's like,
Who did yours?
Seth Barish.
Okay.
oh yeah,
He does all of Mike Birbiglia's stuff. Because the set design really came, I was touring with it for a little bit. The set design came when we went off Broadway.
right.
And you can get some actual, like, theater money is a kind of oxymoron, but you can get theater money behind doing that and getting an actual set designer and
Totally. I just thought it was so genius in so many ways, but it is a fantastic, obviously it's in the title, but like dealing with a difficult subject of death, and obviously about what's the log line that you tell people, like it's about the birth of your daughter?
I would say it's about like probably like the most intense and worst shits on my daughter. So I would say like the most intense / kind of worst like 2 weeks of my life that happened in 2020.
I'd say most difficult 2 weeks.
Difficult is a
Right.
good,
Most difficult
yeah.
2 weeks of your life in one of the most difficult periods of time in our country, in our like nation's history.
Like when you were forced to face death in a moment where you could no longer look away.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great way to say it. Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Should I be on the PR tour?
Yeah. Can we come around?
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take this.
Sklars aren't in this show, but they're going to tell you what it's
And
about.
then you're going to watch their
boys.
one-man show after
Yeah.
this.
One man, two man, two man.
No. I think it should be both of you guys in the same shirt.
So
And
the name,
one has
stuck on you
one has
action?
one arm,
and
the other has the other arm.
Our show's called The Born Identity. BORN.
I think the crazy thing about that time, though, of like what you're going through, is the stuff, because of what was happening in the world, the stuff we could rely on were also question marks
my
beyond
God.
the question marks we had with what we're dealing with.
Yeah, our
Like-
baseline
like
was
to,
fucked.
to the smallest level of going to the doctor, going to a hospital, and being able to say, "You're going to come in with me, right?" And that got taken away for so many. And that's the thing of like, I don't know what's going to be said in here. I don't know what's going to come from this test. I don't know what's
who
going to
can
happen.
be- who can
but
be
to
in
be
here?
but to be able to say, "But you're going to come in with me," like everything is put into question beyond the questions of what is happening.
The maternity ward is being turned into a COVID holding.
Which I
like,
still can't believe that they did.
That-
I mean, that is
okay.
100% true. Basically, they
100%
turned
true.
one.
Half
My
of
daughter's born. They want the same floor. They turned half of the floor into a COVID patient section of the
Holdings,
hospital. I don't know why.
That does seem like a
and your child's in the NICU. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what are we doing?
Yeah. And we all ended up, I mean, this isn't the special. We all ended up getting COVID in December 2020, including her. She was fine. She just had a little diarrhea. My husband had it the worst. That's why I want everyone to know about my baby's diarrhea.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's get into it.
What was the
I think we can know. There's a company that'll send her a card for that. It is so. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it just was like, again, super beautiful and cool, and the music was amazing. The
Thank
songs
you.
were great, all of them, and varied and different. Like, did you start? Like, when did you write the songs in the process of this whole thing?
Darling, Meet Me Under the Cum Tree is
Phenomenal.
like, just to spoil it, I say that I started to write a special in 2018, 2019. That is true. That's the one vestige of the thing that I was writing in 2018, 2019. It's just a silly song about trees that smell like cum. But it ends
It's
up
a
being
beautiful song,
almost the
actually.
point of existence, I guess, is part of the point of the special.
Yeah.
spookiest, scariest ghost was always really important to the show because that's how I
Phenomenal.
feel about ghosts. Like
Phenomenal.
as an atheist who doesn't want to be an atheist.
Yep.
Um.
The Rainbow Bridge.
Rainbow Bridge was like, I was like, oh, we need a song here, and I was already doing a bit about the Rainbow Bridge, and I was like, this bit actually becomes
So
a
good.
song.
So
and,
good.
And then
So good.
and then there was the Dear Evan Hansen song.
Yeah.
And then probably the last song
It's like 6
in the show
songs
was
in
the
it.
final song because it's the point of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd been kind of writing around this thing. And once we realized that was the point of the show, everything in the show then that wasn't leading to that point kind of got
Fell
cut
into-
out.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it makes it so easy to
that
do.
is so. I feel like the writing of the show was baked into the point of the show, and you putting the show together, it from a meta point of view, as we're putting a show
Yeah, yeah,
together,
yeah.
was I could see you struggling with that, and you used it in the best possible way.
Yeah,
All right.
like what's the point? What's the debate? Yeah.
What's the point? What's the point of the show? What am I trying to say? All that stuff you figure out on stage in such a beautiful way.
Is your show based on the story you did on This American Life?
Yes, so
That's
that's
great.
kind of on the spine, but it's really
I
ours.
love that being the spine.
Yeah,
That's great.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you off air about all that because I'm just from a creative standpoint.
Yeah.
Because we'd love your.
Is
feedback.
This American Life going to produce? And we
no?
can cut it. Okay.
No, we'll
All right,
No, but
we'll
it
get
is-
into all that.
Is
but
a show, our show is a show about identity.
It's great.
And about why we're in a moment where we're more concerned about our identities than we ever have in the past, and yet we are choosing to simply curate our identities online instead of create them in real life.
Ooh, I love that.
And that's
and
it.
so for us, our story was that we found out exactly who we were through the choice to become parents, which you think is kind of anti. You know,
Gonna kill your identity, but in essence, we found out who you were.
Wow.
okay. Should I jump into a story?
Yes.
I agree.
Beautiful.
All right. Anyway, one more time so people can watch the entire
It's
special.
called Death Let Me Do My Special.
It's so good.
And it is on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Wait, I had another name.
Is it pronounced Netflix?
Netflix?
Okay.
I had
Netflix.
another name. I was thinking as I was
Reese's. Netflix.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Flakes.
As I was meditating this morning, I was thinking of another name for the special. Not that it matters and it could
Sure.
never be done, but
What?
it's shoot. Okay. Doom and Bloom. Okay, here
you
we
go.
go.
That's a good one.
You ready? Here we go. This is sent in by Carly McDermott at She
She
Carlene, a great person who sends in stories. Here's the headline. Woman's, quote, missing husband returns to Vegas hotel room with $6,000 in strip club charges he says he didn't make.
Where were you, babe?
No story
Where?
here.
So I was
Nope.
tracking down my credit card, which must have gone to a strip club.
Someone took my credit card over to Crazy Horse.
$1,000.
So how long was he missing?
Someone took your credit card over to Crazy Horse. No one said what the strip club was.
Oh, I mean, I found the report. I got
Yeah,
a
but
call from American
They
Express.
didn't even know which strip
I
club.
got, babe, I got a call from
$6,000?
I can't believe someone took my credit card. I
I
thought
want to hear how this became news.
this is great. So during the couple's,
What? $6,000 a strip club? Did you put someone through grad school?
we just went through. We just went to Vegas. this
How
past-
much is a lap dance in a private room Saturday night in Vegas?
I don't
500?
Never
No,
been. I don't
Probably
know.
500.
300
I've
bucks?
been a couple.
1,000.
I have too. I just
1,000?
don't
It might
know.
be look.
6 dances.
If it's Saturday night,
12 songs.
maybe you get 2 women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two
six.
double
If
dip.
6
$6
private
grand.
room lap dances.
Champagne room dance.
So at this point, Rachel Bloom is saying this guy's thinking this is not worth it. Like it wasn't enough.
Around song 4, buddy.
During a couple's last trip to Las Vegas, a woman wakes
It's a
up to
lot of songs. You could honestly play every song from my special.
Yes.
Oh,
Can you
laughed it.
imagine someone stripping to Rainbow Bridge? All right. A woman wakes up to find her husband gone and his phone's location services found off. That's bad.
dude.
If
There's
you're gone and the location.
Why is it on airplane mode for an hour 45?
Before the questions keep coming after he returns to her room intoxicated beyond comprehension. A woman is taken to Reddit.
If you get separated from your partner for more than 30 minutes in Vegas, assume that that person
Something's
is
on.
gone from your life.
We did a story once of 2 people that were having sex on the Ferris wheel in Vegas.
Yeah.
One of them was there with their partner, and they
the other-
hadn't met before they got on the Ferris wheel.
Oh, wow.
Talk about
30, and it takes 30 minutes to go around that high roller Ferris wheel.
Well, you only need
It's kind
2.
of beautiful.
A woman has
Kiss
taken
match.
to
Literal.
Reddit, I mean, if you're excited, to ask for the advice about her marriage after her husband went MIA on their last trip to Vegas.
I'd say it's not going great.
Right. So we're
How
gonna
long did he go MIA?
So we're gonna find out.
Great.
So the woman, we're gonna get to her age at the end.
Oh no, we're gonna get to her age.
At the end, we'll find out how old she is. Says she woke up at what time to find her husband not there? What time?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. What do you think?
2:30.
She woke up at noon.
Ooh, that's nice.
What time she woke up to find her husband? If he's
No,
missing,
It's also Vegas. They could have gone.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
she could have gone back to
tired.
the
Day
room
bar.
at 3 or 4 in the morning,
So
and he
funny.
stayed out.
Day
All right,
bar.
right. So she woke up at 2 a.m. to find her husband
Ooh, I
still
said
hadn't
2:30.
returned
well,
to the
she
hotel.
wasn't enjoying Vegas properly.
Right, 2 a.m. is not that late.
She's already
are you doing
asleep.
asleep?
She's already gone a REM cycle.
Yeah.
That means she went to sleep at like 11. Why did you go to Vegas?
Dude, we just went and did a show in Vegas, a stand-up show in Vegas at Wise Guys, then went out to the Arts District and had a meal at Elizabeth
Kitchen.
Esther's Kitchen, which was incredible, then went back to Caesar's Palace and got in to see Fisher, the DJ, which he went on at like 2 in the morning.
And our flight was at 6:30.
And we were
And we're 52.
and we were
Shut
rolling.
up.
All right, so here we go. She explained on the site,
Look great.
it's relationship advice subreddit, that the pair were in a great place in their marriage. If you have to say it, is it true?
What did Walter Payton say?
you
When you're good, you tell
pe-
everyone. When you're great, they tell you.
Okay,
You
But-
don't need to tell anyone how great your relationship
she
is.
said it was in a great place.
Maybe she meant like on the day they got married.
They're about to celebrate their how many year anniversary?
Oh boy.
Well, this is going to inform age,
Maybe could be a late.
right?
Oh,
What anniversary?
I'm going to go. I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna guess it's 1 year.
1 year. What do you think,
6 years.
Jay?
10.
Okay,
And they're
get your answers
26.
in, townies. 4-year anniversary.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Okay.
But after the trip, she doesn't know what to do next. Read. So the woman's husband goes missing during our vacation. I woke up at 2 a.m. to find my husband missing. Location off. Thousands of charges from a strip club on our bank account. Like she went straight to the bank account. That's how you know.
So wait, was he using a debit card?
Probably,
That's so
or maybe
lame.
like used Apple.
Oh, the ATM.
If I
ATM.
put if
Yeah.
I put my phone right by your vagina, it'll just like go right.
Do you have
onto it.
Venmo? Can I just swipe this card through your
Oh,
ass?
that's actually really smart.
Right. My husband and I looked.
Put a little QR code on
Yes.
your
Can I
piece.
tap
No,
that
that's-
ass to?
Your Venmo QR
Pay.
code is on your inner thigh.
and then she swings her ass around to say, "Do you want a tip?" All right. My husband and
Just
I
the tip.
looked at the last minute getaway Vegas for a couple of nights. We arrived yesterday. We had tickets to see a show last night. I wanted to get into more about that, but after a long day of drinking in the heat,
So no. This is what we said on stage in Vegas. Vegas, for regular people, for non-Amish people, is their Rumspringer.
Yeah.
It is redneck Rumspringer. They come to Vegas to destroy themselves. Randy and I were playing golf. We got there and we said, we have nothing to do all day. Let's get on and exercise. We'll go, whatever. Golf, it's fun. We got on the course. We start playing up into this like couple in front of us, and they're like, "Join us. Why don't you join us?" Great. This big guy who looked like Mini Gronk, his sweet, cool wife. They were from Calgary. They were so nice.
well, these are the nicest people ever.
Two holes in, he pulls out of his bag a funnel.
cracks open a beer, shotguns it, and drinks the entire beer while his wife films it.
And Randy and I are like, she's going to be like,
Oh,
oh,
Scotty, don't do that. But she was like a hockey buddy. She was like, go get it, Scotty.
Go on, Scotty.
Come
Go
on,
get it.
Scotty.
Now
Go
that's
get
a
it.
great marriage.
That's a
That's
great
amazing.
marriage.
I love them.
But yeah, we love them.
Go,
them.
let's go, Scotty.
Come on, Scotty. And Randy and I were like, these guys are gonna get. And this is like
So we were
2:30 in the
like,
afternoon.
when's your show tonight? We're like, it's probably gonna be
You're
too
not
late.
gonna
We're like,
Too
it's
late for you.
canceled. If you show up, I really don't want you to show up.
So
With
the-
how drunk you're going to be in
So
6
they were
hours.
drinking
No,
during
but the best part of the
Okay.
whole night is that night we went and did our show. We met our buddy at the Cosmopolitan. We
Love
went
the
into Momofuku, where
Love
the guy we were with knew the chefs.
So they're just bringing us
Bringing
stuff.
us food.
I had like a 1/3 of this super powerful gummy. We were walking around to find one pie gow table where our friends started playing. We walked through the whole casino, and we're just standing behind. I'm really high. We're looking over.
We're talking about him, and all of a sudden, this guy, two seats
over at
away,
the
is
same
like,
table.
"Don't let those two Jews in this thing." And we're like, "What?"
And it was the
It
golf
was
guy.
Scotty.
Scotty.
He was still
Wasted.
upright.
Wasted.
Only in Vegas.
Had you previously had an inside joke about you being
So
Jewish?
on the course, I said I hit a really good shot, and I was like, "I'm gonna put some good juju on your shot." And he was like,
I don't
think
think
you can say that." And I was like,
Here comes the
absolutely.
speech about what we can't say
I was
anymore.
like, "Absolutely, we can." You're telling me right now that you're against cancel culture, fine. But I was like, it's JU. Let me just tell you that. But, and then I felt the need to say this out loud, so we didn't
We're
go too far.
Jewish.
We're Jewish, so I could say it. But he's like, oh, I got a friend named David Jewhouse or Ron Jewhouse, and we call him the Jew on the course. And I'm like, is he Jewish? Like, no. And I'm like, I don't really need to know what's going on in
We don't
Calgary.
have to let's not litigate that.
Right, but I was also like, you're a nice
Vanessa,
guy.
go grab another beer.
V, why don't you grab him another beer and he'll shotgun it. We were like, hey, look, this is not a mean guy. He doesn't have negative intent. Maybe we can help him understand what's right and what's wrong, but we don't really care. And I'm like, he's not. And then later, I think he was so drunk and he felt like he could be like, these two Jews, because we talked about Jews. And we're like, all right.
That's
man.
crazy.
But it was
that
crazy
you
of
saw
all
this.
the
all the
pie gough
tables in all of
in
Vegas.
Thousands and
he
thousands
sits at this one. All right, so
And his wife was not there.
No, he was
No,
sold.
she
We're like,
was at the strip club.
where's V? He's like, I don't know. We're like,
That's great.
Scotty. So all right, so she woke up at 2 a.m. to discover her husband was not there. The show that they went to was
Which means they went hard all day because you
Right.
said because of the heat.
All
Although
day.
it's Vegas, it could have been.
So the show was
100 degrees
literally
at night.
at our hotel, so I started to panic. I go to check his location, it's off. Then I text him to ask him
So
where
they're
he
supposed
was.
to go to a show.
No,
So
they
they went
gone
to
the
a show.
They
and
must have
then-
gotten out of the show.
Or no, he went to the show. I think she fell asleep. And then
Either way,
he
after the show, they
then I
split
text him, ask him where he is.
Yeah, he's not going to see. What is the show? He's not
Look at
going to see
this.
Penn and Teller by himself or
That's
whatever.
right. He reads the text but doesn't respond to it. I call him several
fuck,
times,
dude?
and he sends me to voicemail. While I was trying to get a hold of him, I see that there are two separate charges for how much money from a strip club.
Two separate charges.
Two separate
from the strip club.
From the strip club for
Wouldn't it be $3K?
nope.
$6,000.
No, it's 1,000 apiece from
Oh,
the strip club. He didn't respond to me until nearly 3 a.m.
So that's a lap. That's a lap
Yeah.
dance.
And
That's
text
Maybe
me
a
that-
bottle too. Maybe bottle service.
He
in it.
texted me that he was on his way back at 3 a.m. Finally, he arrives 30 minutes later. He stumbles in the room, absolutely obliterated. He tries to lie and say he was just gambling down the strip.
Fucking idiot.
And he never went to a strip club, even though the charges were literally made with Apple Pay, and he hadn't lost his phone.
Apple Pay.
Then
that's
started
great.
investigating further, going through his receipts, put together our own timeline.
One
of
bad Apple
events.
Pay.
So
spoils
is
the
he?
whole
He's
bunch.
not allowed to go to strip clubs, right? Clearly,
I'm
But see,
assuming
this is the
not.
thing I don't like because say who you are
Yeah.
in your relationship.
That I like
Claim who you
Come with me to
are
the strip
and
club,
what you want to
honey.
be. And if you go, well, if I tell my wife I want to go party together or on my own at a strip club, she might leave me. Well, give her the opportunity because the golf course guy told his wife, I want to do beer bongs
she
on the
said,
golf
"Go
course,"
get
and
it,
she
Scotty.
said,
Go get it,
I'm in.
Scotty.
yeah. This is a deeper. This is a deeper,
Deeper
rot within
issue.
the marriage that they're just being
Well,
dishonest.
Agreed.
or, and I'm going to say this, I think, truthfully, if it's just like a straight up relationship and someone who maybe grew up in a more repressed household or whatever in their life, they're not going to say go to a strip club, or someone who's worried about the tenuousness of the relationship.
That's what I think.
That's
it
what I
is.
But
think
then,
it
like,
is.
Don't lie.
She's putting together receipts and a timeline
This
of
guy's
events.
this guy's so. It's again, if he knows this is
Classic.
because there are some people I know who are triggered by strip clubs.
Sure.
Because they have parents who cheated on
That's
the other
right.
parent. And they're
That's
like,
right.
strips clubs are cheating.
Yeah.
And that it's a issue.
You got to talk about that.
So
stuff.
I'm also curious, how big of an issue is
Right,
this in the
exactly.
marriage?
So
Yeah.
she's claiming the evidence
Well,
showed
he's
her
so
husband had been
stupid.
at the strip club for nearly 5 hours, confirming that he
5 hours.
5 hours in a strip club.
Jesus.
5
At that point,
hours?
employees know your name.
So he
You good over here,
5
Mike?
hour- You're watching people switch
right.
shifts.
Yeah, shifts. You've seen shit. You know that there are two DJs who work.
If you have to watch a stripper be shadowed by another stripper and say, all right, I'm training her in, like that's...
You're spending $1,200 an hour?
right, so he went through from the show.
Sit a
and left
couple lap dances out.
40 minutes after my first "Where are you?" text. This is crazy. I
That
also
hurts. That
checked all of our
Feel
accounts
for her.
and all the charges made settle as they are. He'll have spent nearly, we said, $6,000. He swears he didn't cheat on me and says nothing sexual happened.
So
Though-
wait, is he admitting you went to the strip club?
Yeah, at this point.
Though I can
Okay.
only imagine the situations you find yourself in after
He has
5
no
hours in a
choice.
strip club, especially when you're intoxicated beyond comprehension. I feel like I never truly know what happened, and
Right.
that
'cause he-
alone
'cause
is
he
the most
tried to
painful
deceive
part.
you and
But
did.
it's also, what do you think cheating is? Like,
Right.
do you consider cheating a
Watching
woman
Grinding on you.
grinding on his erection?
Right.
If you consider that cheating, that's
Right.
cheating.
That is.
because that's what a strip club is.
That is. You can't touch. All right. So we've been together for 7 years and married for, like we said, 4 in just a couple of months. As far as I was aware, we're in a great place in our marriage, and there haven't been any issues of infidelity in the past. This is completely out of character. I'm absolutely crushed and deeply disappointed. He was reckless with our money, which he was.
That's actually
He was. That's bad.
$6,000 fucking dollars.
That's a lot of money.
Fuck you.
Right? It hurt. It
Buy
effing hurts.
5,000 things with that.
The fact that we were on a solo trip together, instead of coming back to me and literally doing anything else, he chose to go to the strip club. This marriage is over. This is over.
I don't think they.
Reddit did not hold back from giving their truthful opinions on whether he cheated or not. There were over 2,500
Oh, so what she wants to know
is from the Reddit
community. So it's not about like, it's
Am I
not
right
about
to be
my
mad at-
communication things in our marriage. It's like he was 5 hours at a strip club, spent $6,000.
What does that mean?
Did he get a blowjob?
Right, exactly. Did someone touch him? All right.
God,
So
for $6,000, I kind of hope he did.
she said, okay, simple to fix.
$6,000?
Dispute the
You
charge.
could have
so
bought
that
1,200 farewell cards.
A lot of those, I feel like those, they really, it's the lap dances are really intimate, but like they have if you're at like I don't know, maybe this is naive, and I don't go to strip clubs a ton,
Right.
but like they're, I don't know, a lot of those legit places I think are pretty good about like, yeah, you keep your hands at
You're
your
not allowed to
sides.
touch it. There are dudes walking around to make sure you
Who
can't.
will bust your neck in if
Well,
you
because
get
it's more,
handsy?
it's security for the women.
For the
really.
women. So to be honest, though, you have to know that dropping $6,000, turning off location, and leaving you on red is
Yeah,
denying
at the
you.
beginning, didn't you say, Randy? She said, "Is my marriage in danger?"
Yes,
Whatever.
and so people are.
Yeah,
Another
girl, are you in danger?
said, leave him do the amount he spent alone. If he didn't cheat for $6,000, he's dumb. Leave him anyway. That was actually pretty funny. But a different comment said, it's Vegas. He 100% got extra services. And another suggested that she should dispute the charges and demand an STD test.
I don't know if a lot of, I think that's really, I mean, these strippers in Vegas, they're fucking professional.
They are tested.
They earn thousands and thousands of dollars just from these lap dances.
Says you
I
go
don't
to
know.
you go to a divorce lawyer. There's where you go from here. Another responder said, while another added, "I'm so sorry you went through this. Something very similar happened to me, right down to the $6,000 amount. Oh my God!" And I divorced him shortly after, and it was the best decision I could have made. Not to say every situation is the same. She has not shared any updates. What do we? Last thing. Well, then
How
we'll do their
old?
ages. What do we think they should do? Should they get divorced or go through counseling? Counseling.
Counseling.
Yeah.
Counseling.
Because when she's like, "This is so out of character," the full sentence is, "This is so out of character." For
Why
how-
did you
for-
do this?
for
From what
how-
I know.
For
From
how
what
I know.
for
him.
what I know.
You guys need to have a real like.
Find
who
out
are you? Who am
I
I?
just have so many follow-up questions. Like, if it's out of character, is he an alcoholic? And
Right.
so, like, this
Number
was
one. Is that part of?
also, like, okay, I have a friend
It is possibly bought
actually
6
in
bottles.
Vegas who swears that he got roofied.
Yeah, I believe
like,
that.
I was
did-
at- I was
did
actually-
in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, so like if someone's
and
trying
My
to
friend
roofie-
was at my friend. We were. I won't say what strip club it was, but like I was there. This makes it sound like I go to strip clubs
Oh
all
yeah,
the time.
Rachel.
I've only
you have
been.
a residency.
Yeah, well, check me out.
Well, you used to do that show at Jumbo's Clown Room. It was just improv. It wasn't even.
Yeah, it was
uh,
weirdly just
Yeah.
It's
I
hilarious.
need a location.
It was musical improv, but that's it.
pasties.
But they got roofied at a strip club in Vegas.
He like the next day I saw him and he's like, I've never been this hungover. He's like, I had one drink, I think, and apparently this happens where it's strippers or it's the club putting stuff in drinks so that you'll just get wasted
around
and
keep
pay
paying. Yeah.
thousands and
Yeah,
thousands
yeah.
of dollars.
Yeah, oh yeah. So that's crazy. So anyway, we're gonna get on this. How old is she and how old is he? Let's start with her. How old is she?
They married 4 years.
Been together 7.
Mm-hmm.
You go first, Rachel.
What do you think, Rach?
I don't want to steal if you feel like you have a good one.
24.
24.
Wow. I'm going to say she's 31.
Mm-hmm. Jay?
She's 34.
Okay. Get your answers in, townies, because she is 28 years old.
Oh,
Right?
wow, yeah.
How old is the guy? Old 6K himself.
Ooh, okay, wait. They've been together 7 years, so.
I'm going to stick with 31.
31. She's 28. He's 31. How old is he?
Ooh.
64.
You want to go way
No,
high?
no.
You never know.
He's also 28.
28. Oh, okay. What do you think?
35.
Get your answers in, townies. One of you is 1 year off.
Ooh.
So if you want to go
Okay.
up
Oh,
or
I'll go down to 30.
Okay, and you want to go stay. You want to go up or down?
What
from
did I
today?
say? I'll stay.
It's one up or down.
You got to
So
go
you-
up.
Oh, I got to go one up or one down?
27 or 29.
He's 29.
36. You said 35. Okay. Get your answers in, townies, because he is 34 years old. Jay, you went the wrong way, Jay.
Wow.
You went the wrong way. When we come back, one more story. Give us a little taste of what we're going to see, Jay, or hear.
We're staying in the lap dance.
Let's stay in the lap of luxury. It's Dumb People Town with Rachel Bloom. We'll tell you what we have going on right after this.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, are you trying to find a gift for a group of people? If you come from a big family, it can be hard and expensive to buy each one a personal gift for the holidays. Planning to celebrate the holidays with your friend group, want to surprise them all with something a bit more special and meaningful than like a bottle of booze? We got the perfect gift for you. This is a gift that we have given for the holidays, and it is continuously the greatest gift that we've ever given someone.
Skylight frame.
I love these
touchscreen
guys so
digital photo frame. Your whole family will love. You upload thousands of photos with your phone and watch them appear in seconds. We have done this for our mom. I'm telling you right now, it gives a little ding on her frame when we send
her
photos.
know that we send photos.
When I take photos in my life of my kids, we're playing golf, there's a special moment, we're on a hike, I take that picture, I immediately quickly send it to her frame, and my mom, our mom, is in on our lives. She's connected
frame
to us.
Sits in her
moment.
living room, and all the new pictures rotate in. First of all, easy to use. Setup takes less than 60 seconds. Seamless sharing. Invite friends and family to share photos in there too.
Very easy to do.
Via the Skylight mobile app or email. Again, this is such
touchscreen
a
is a
gift.
game changer on the actual frame.
Swipe through the photos, tap to see new photos sent. I have the Skylight calendar, which is amazing too. They make such good products. 2 sizes on the frame to choose from: the original 10-inch or larger 15-inch gallery frame.
I will tell you, we've given our mom a ton of gifts through the years. This is her favorite gift we've ever gotten her.
Absolutely. And now, as a special limited time offer for our listeners, get $20 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/DPT. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/DPT. Get $20 off, Jay, of your purchase now at skylightframe.com/DPT. That's $20 off a Skylight frame at skylightframe.com/DPT.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more on People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Before we jump into this final story, and again, please watch Rachel's all the way to the end, her special on Netflix. Death Let Me Do My
Actually,
Special.
the credits are very. I don't know if you caught the credits, but there's some nice baby dog pictures in the credits.
So, I mean, I love your dog so much.
was.
I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Dog Shrine, unbelievable. Okay. And I have the same, like we have
I'm sure.
painted pictures of our bulldog from Etsy. Unbelievable.
Do you tell your kids that? I mean, we tell that Wiley is her sister, but also her guardian angel.
The concept of, and I don't want to get into
I don't want to.
You have a concept of your attitude towards your dog that is like I've never heard it said before, and I loved it. I always love when a new concept is brought up, and I'm like, I never heard it. Absolutely love it. So it's so good. For us, you can come see us. We don't know when this is dropping. If this is dropping before we go to Fort Collins, we'll be in Fort Collins at the Comedy Fort, and then 2 weeks later we'll be with Dan at the Flyover Comedy Festival in St. Louis. Sheldon Theater on Saturday night. It's like 600-700 seats. Let's try and fill that thing, please. And the night before we're doing Tag It, which you did in Montreal, which was so much fun, where you did your set and then we pitch you tags afterwards.
Oh yeah, God, I wish I'd
So
written
fun.
down.
I'm sure I have it somewhere.
Well, you
in my
know, I
phone.
don't think. Did I tell you? No, I don't think I told you. When I did that show, I was 1 week pregnant.
I didn't know that.
So I got my pop. So we fucked when I ovulated. I knew exactly what was going on. Took
Timed
the
it
pregnancy test, positive, and I was like, I gotta go to Montreal in 3 days.
And now go do this thing.
And so I did your show.
You were great.
I was, and
So
you were
fun.
talking about your kids.
Yeah.
We were talking about your kids, and I remember I was like, oh, I should tell them. But I was literally like a week.
Yeah, you had to wait.
Yeah, no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. But
No, I told so many other people. At the
We didn't get it.
it's hilarious.
All right, well,
superscholars.com, and as we mentioned, we're doing our 2-man show. We're going to just do it 3 times at the Lyric Hyperion. It's small, and it'll help us
love that
figure
space.
out what we're going to do. That's December 9th, 12th, and 16th. We're doing it at Sketchfest on February 1st.
I'll be at Sketchfest a couple of weeks before.
Damn. So we're doing it at the Gateway, which used to be the Eureka Theater,
Yeah.
which is really nice. So we're going to do it there. And then we do have people interested and investors who are going to pay us to kind of figure this thing out and probably take it to New York. We'll see kind of what the story
Great.
is. But again, it's called The Born Identity. All of that at superscholars.com. Jay, go ahead.
okay. I forgot to put who sent this in. I'm really sad. All right, someone sent this in, and I'm sorry. Here's the headline. Florida man almost died while getting a lap dance from his housekeeper.
What? Was that Richard Simmons?
Oh.
Almost.
Almost died.
Almost.
I mean, that's a pretty good lap dance. Am
Saw
I right?
the light.
He
Saw the light and was like, I'm going back for more.
Is his lap dance is his housekeeper an alligator? That's my question.
Good Lord. This is all right. This story is one for the books. This is definitely written by a blogger. Florida man almost died while getting a lap dance from his housekeeper. The incident happened in Tampa, St. Petersburg area.
Well, sure.
They're recovering. I mean,
I know.
Shout out to Tampa. I hope
got to
you guys
rebuild.
are okay.
I hope you guys rebuild.
This might have been before.
It was before that.
Definitely before.
But it was. She must have been a tour de force.
Yeah, she definitely.
In her own right. As
She
was
herself
taking him
was,
down.
and I mean this in the best possible way, started off as a category 2 and then wound up.
I
to
was
be a
gonna
category-
make and then I was
category
like,
5.
should we?
No, we shouldn't.
High-powered thrusts.
Right. Circular motion.
The incident happened in their area, and a woman by the name of Sincerest Sammy
Warm front. Okay, go
Yeah,
on.
that's right.
yeah.
Sincerest, the
took
eye
to
of-
her TikTok to recap for us one of her most traumatic experiences. She is a topless maid.
I was just
You
about
knew
to
it,
ask.
right?
I was gonna say, is it topless maids?
So I
So here's our thing with topless maids. So do you call them on like
I don't like that they
certain
have
things?
to clean too.
Because then
like,
at some point you're like, hey, did
can
you
you-
get behind the toilet? Because that kind
Yeah,
of
we
gets a
can't
little
just-
bit.
we can't just
Are you going to have a
dust.
normal cleaning discussion with a woman whose breasts are just out? Are you going to be like, hey,
'Cause
don't
now
forget?
it just feels like you're talking to someone who's shirtless.
Right. Topless is like some sensual thing. Shirtless is when you're like, hey, up above in the garage, there's
Like,
some
does she
Swiffer,
come to you and
extra
say like,
Swiffer
yeah,
thing.
where's the fantastic? Do you have any like just regular? Simple
Oh, we
glass
don't
clean?
use Windex. There's a Trader Joe's
Right.
version that's better for that. Now you're having a discussion about Windex with a woman whose breasts are
I
out.
wonder how often they break. Like, how good are they at cleaning?
At cleaning. This is the question.
She's good
Yeah, I
at
feel
cleaning
like
up.
If they're really doing, like, if they're really working hard, like, you're just getting sweat everywhere.
I know. Well,
Boob
Right?
sweat.
Yeah, the best sweat.
God's water, as they call it.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has all types of clients, but one of her favorite
Sorry, I'm
clients.
delayed laugh for God's water.
the question is like, when does a Roomba like to become like also a sex doll?
Sure.
You know, she's
Why
getting in
not?
the corners.
We'll get there. AI, baby.
Oh, sorry. I
Or
just had an image of a topless woman riding 2 Roombas like rollerblades.
Oh yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
That is kind of
Just-
great.
Actually, she doesn't even have to be topless. I just want to see someone ride
a
Roombas
woman
like
riding
rollerblades.
that'd be amazing. Right, exactly.
I'd pay $6,000 for
That's
that.
like Mad Max. All right. One of her favorite clients almost died on her. Sammy says that after cleaning his home, she was paid extra to give him a lap dance. So I'm
Okay.
sure this happens all
It's
the
fine.
time.
It's called dusting up.
Dust bunnies.
Yeah.
What happened next is something she'll never
Dust
thought.
Bunnies is a very
she'd
good
experience.
rival.
Great. It's the
business.
other one, the dust
Yeah.
bunnies.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right?
You got to start that now.
Playboy bunnies that also clean,
Dust.
but they're also topless dust bunnies.
Yeah.
Sammy, who is also popular on TikTok, always keeps us updated on her experiences. I mean, she does lead a pretty interesting life.
Who?
Just
What?
Leave your
Go ahead.
opinion on
The
it.
blogger's a fan.
I like it.
She will also come to your home and cut your grass topless as well. That okay?
That's
that
an
is-
HOA violation.
That's a like kids walking by
That's a
in the
flex.
neighborhood.
That is a great flex.
It's a- so I will tell you,
You gotta have.
got hot.
You gotta have
First thing
privacy
I worried
hedges.
about, sunscreen. I hope she's using sunscreen. all
I
over.
worry about the stray rock.
Yeah.
This also, and I'm just going to tease it. I'm going to tease it. This also reminds me of a great moment in her special. You have to
Oh,
watch the
yes.
special.
So-
you have to.
Look,
Come on, give me 5.
Is the
You
is
can't
the
just
lawn
mow
mowed?
any lawn.
She mows
topless.
like one thin strip in the middle, a Brazilian mow.
That's right.
But I look, my thing is like,
You don't wax a front lawn.
well,
for Christ's
and like,
sake.
can people walking by with their kids like now be mad at you because
No.
now there's a topless
It's her
woman and you're
property.
out in your lawn?
No.
That's in
Ooh.
their purview.
if it's in your line of
Yeah, you
sight,
could get rung up. For
Is
that?
that?
I think you get dinged
It's
for
public indecency,
Yeah,
right?
I
Like if
think
you're
it
fucking
is
in front of an open
You're
window.
outside.
indecent
Yeah.
exposure.
that. You
Yeah.
can't do that. When are you gonna? Why are you gonna?
So you let
and
her do the back lawn.
Mowing the lawn's hard work. I mean,
The way you get away with it is you have a prop baby under her.
That's
Right.
right.
So you go, she
She's
was, how
feeding.
dare you?
Yeah.
Is it a riding mower and she's just bouncing along?
Yeah, I was
Stop
debating
wondering.
what would
I-
be better, a push or a ride.
I push.
Dan, the most satisfying thing I've seen on TikTok ever is the guy who goes up to these
the
like
best.
old houses and he's like, "I'll mow your lawn for you," and
He goes up to these fucking Jumanji houses.
right, and he's
cleans
and
it all
they
up.
do
So
fast
gratifying.
motion the cleanup of the yard.
It's like
is
the most satisfying.
hilarious.
As
thing
we're
I've
in a
ever seen.
business where things never get to their conclusion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is like
Industrial
the most
rug
satisfying.
cleaning, and also the vacuum.
guy who
the
cleans-
vacuum glitter carpet stuff. is
That
nice,
and the
too.
guy who cleans like his work, like the ASMR cleaning
Yeah.
his like.
All right, so
tools.
listen to this part of this, which I think is she makes about how much an hour? This is the one guess. in this whole thing.
Ooh,
350.
I'm going way lower. 150.
150,
uh, 200.
$200. Get your answers in. This woman makes $300 an hour.
That was
Good.
close.
Yeah.
350. I
And
thought.
according to her, tips are out of this world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Just
sure.
Just the tips. Just the
What I love about this is, this is how stupid men are. Is they'll pay you money just for you to fucking dust badly with your
Yep.
tits out.
Yeah.
It's
So we're
like
pretty stupid.
if you
how
get
easy
if
they
you
are to
get, if you get
take.
past the creep factor, it's like,
Right.
oh,
Do you know Christina Hutchinson and Corinne Fisher? They're so great. They have a great podcast in New York, and they will sometimes talk to like sex workers and other people. And I was listening to a podcast of theirs where there's a woman who came on, and she's like, I get paid to like high-powered men will call me, and I will literally ignore them. They'll just talk, and I will ignore them.
Yeah.
Put the phone down and do my own cleaning, do my own stuff, and I get paid to basically ignore them and not care about them. Like they have so much power in the rest of their lives. They want to call someone and be ignored. I'm like, how do I get in on this?
have you
I'm
heard
ready
of
to
how
ignore
have
somebody.
you heard of FinDom?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
No,
Financial domination?
let's go.
It's
These guys
literally-
give women control.
It's
sorry.
just yeah, it's people who really get off on like, I'm gonna give you thousands of dollars and you just get money and you go like, oh, you fucking pathetic
Let's
pig.
do it. Let's do
I'm
it.
There's
gonna
got to be a
spend
gay
this money."
version
You
of
have to
that.
call her, take
Can
her-
we
I
jump
think-
on
Can I get
that?
money
I
for
think
lunch?
Why can't we jump on the gay version?
Look into it.
I'd like to.
Because your heart's not in it. That's
I
why.
know.
My heart is so in it. If it's going to pay for school for my kids.
Yeah.
Believe me, I read that a Bad Baby, who's the girl who did Cash Me Outside
Yeah.
on Dr. Phil, apparently in 1 year she earned $50 million on OnlyFans.
Yep.
I'm like, well,
There's a girl who farted in a jar and made a lot of money.
Yep.
A ton of jars.
Jar farts.
I don't know.
I could.
Would it really be off-brand for me?
No, that's
No.
in your wheelhouse.
You could write a song about it. No.
Yeah, right.
Jar farts?
Jar
I want
farts,
that song. Here we go. Sammy says that she usually has her bodyguard with her.
Yeah,
But
of
on this
course.
particular day, she did not bring him.
Well, She knows this regular. He's one of her favorites.
One of
She
her.
usually has her defibrillator.
She
with
said
her.
He's
on this-
obviously old.
She said on this particular day, he did not come.
Who?
The
The
bodyguard.
Why would she-
bodyguard or the guy?
The
That was a
bodyguard.
bad
Wait.
turn of the phrase.
Yeah, wait, the
Bad turn of-
bodyguard didn't. Okay.
Yeah, bad turn of a
okay.
phrase.
One of
Didn't
her
show up.
One of her Florida clients is one of her favorite clients is a Florida man who is, and they just give a decade of his age. So this is, I want you guys
In
to,
his what?
70s.
90s.
80s.
No way.
one of you is exactly right.
It's
90s.
70s.
90s.
80s.
It's Daniel.
70s. Wow, it's not even that bad.
And he pays her not only clean, but he likes to get lap dances as well.
Okay, fine.
So she gives her account. I put the account in the thing. I don't know.
He
that we
calls
need
it
to
his
listen to
love seat. Is that wrong? Can you dust the love seat?
So what we find out in the account when she talks,
Yeah.
which we don't have
I
to
don't
listen
think
to her
so.
talk, but she reveals. No, it's.
I mean, yap.
Well, I think she's just going to retell the
she's
same
going to retell the
story.
story
That's
that we
fine.
just
No,
that we just
we
broke
go
down.
on.
Look, I'm not paying for her to talk, Rachel.
Dust. Less talk and more dust.
So the neighbor, it turns out, his neighbor, she reveals, his next door neighbor is his secret lover, which what does it need to be a
Plot
secret?
twist.
Yeah,
I'm
why?
not
It
sure.
doesn't be a secret.
Yeah,
And
Melrose
that his
Place.
life was saved, so he survived, and she still made her money. And look, the man must be a good lover because the neighbor
His
tipped
secret lover.
the
neighbor.
secret neighbor tipped Sammy,
How much?
the stripper, how much money we'll get out of here on this.
To save his life?
You
Yes.
first.
$1,000.
I was going to say 500.
I was going to say 1,000 too. I'll go. What'd you say?
I said
Five
500.
hundo.
It'd be funny if it was just $100, so I'll go with that.
55.
But I felt
One of you is exactly right.
500.
there's no way it's me. I'm gonna jump over to 1,000.
Get your answers in. Watch her special.
Death Let Me Do My Special. Rachel Bloom. Watch it to the end. Through the credits. It's so funny and so
Watch
good.
Daniel's Rose Gold. Let's get that.
Get that up over
on
100,000 on YouTube.
And his movie Wine Club, which is still on Tubi, correct?
Yeah.
He's great in it. Come see all of us in St. Louis. Come see us in Fort Collins, wherever you are. Just supersclars.com, DanielVanKirk.com. And this neighbor, secret
Saved a life.
secret love.
Woman or man?
I
Woman.
think it's a woman.
Okay.
Tipped this topless house cleaner who took a man to the brink of death with a lap dance. $1,000.
It's a great way to
I'll take a
Walks
piece of that
off a
victory.
winner.
That's what I would do.
She walks off a
I like
winner.
when someone has a walk-off win.
That's
at Dumb
it.
People
And Rachel
Town.
Bloom has in Dumb People
What
Town.
a
You're
happy
welcome
ending.
anytime. We love you.
This was
And
great.
to our fans, oh snap, we got to get back to work. We'll see you.
You guys ready for the lap dance?
Yeah.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.